All right, let's go ahead and dig into the problem of the day. Be sure to answer the questions I ask out loud and do your best to think about the new units that we're going to be talking about together. Capacity tells us how much liquid something can hold. In order to estimate, we need to know the different units of capacity and their benchmarks. There are customary and metric units of capacity, just like there were for length. We're going to start with customary units. So the smallest customary unit that we're going to use is a teaspoon. And one thing that is about the same size as a teaspoon is the amount of liquid you can hold in a regular spoon. That's going to be our benchmark for a teaspoon. So I'm going to draw a picture here of a spoon. There it is. Great. Okay. The next largest unit is a tablespoon. We can use a medicine cup as the benchmark for a tablespoon. So go ahead and say tablespoon, medicine cup. And there are actually 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. I'm going to draw my medicine cup. Right here, we've got like the little markings on it. Okay, great. The next largest unit is a cup. So what do you think would be a good benchmark for a cup? Say it out loud. You might have said a measuring cup, like this one. This is for dry things, but it is the same capacity as a liquid measuring cup. So we're going to use a measuring cup as our benchmark for a cup. So go ahead and say measuring cup, cup. Okay, I'll add that here. I'm going to do this. Here's our measuring cup from the side. I'm going to say a measuring cup. Great. Now, sometimes people talk about capacity in a unit called an ounce, and we're not going to focus on that today, but it is good to know that there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. Great. So our next unit is interesting. It's a pint. And when we think of a pint, we can think of a small ice cream container. I don't have ice cream because, health food, but I have this container of Greek yogurt. And this is also, about a pint. But let's pretend it's ice cream. That's more fun. Go ahead and say ice cream pint. Okay, great. So I'm going to put that here. We'll label it ice cream, so remember what that is. And so that's our benchmark. Great. So how many cups do you think are in 1 pint? Go ahead and say it out loud. Yeah, there's actually 2 cups in 1 pint. Cool. Our next unit is a quart. So what do you think might be a good benchmark for a quart? Say it out loud. Yeah, you might have said a milk carton. I don't actually have a milk carton, but I do have this small container of milk that would be the same as a milk carton, and this is actually, well, it's buttermilk, but this is 1 quart. So I'm going to draw a carton on our paper, right? And the carton has the little top with a little spout you can pour from, right? And it says milk. So we're going to say a milk carton. That's our benchmark. And there are 2 pints in 1 quart. So if there are 2 pints in a quart, how many cups would there be in a quart? Say it out loud. Yeah, there would be 4 cups in 1 quart, right? Because if there's 2 pints in a quart and 2 cups in each pint, 2 times 2 gives you 4. So then we've got our largest customary unit, and that is a gallon. And this one you probably know, right? Because when we think of a gallon, we can think of a big old gallon of milk. All right, so I'll go ahead and I'm gonna add that to our VA. I'm gonna do my best to draw a gallon of milk. It's kind of tricky for me. There's our handle, zoop, zoop, and our top, I'm gonna say gallon of milk. I think most of us probably know what that is. And then our ratio here, there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Great. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about our metric units. So the smallest metric unit is a milliliter. A milliliter is very small. You can think of it as 1 drop from an eyedropper. I have a little syringe here so you can see 1 little drop like that, that, 4 milliliters right there. Very small amount. We'll go ahead and add that to our visual anchor. Great, so I'm gonna draw, let's see, it's kind of like a syringe or an eyedropper, however you want to think of it, right? And then, so we have drop from eyedropper. So go ahead and you can say drop milliliter. You say it. All right. The other metric unit we're going to use is a liter. A liter is about the size as a good sized water bottle. This is about 1 liter. So I want you to think about what we learned yesterday about the metric units. About how many milliliters are there in 1 liter, do you think? Go ahead and say it out loud. I'm going to draw a little water bottle here as you do that. Here's our water bottle. Yeah, there's actually 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter, just like there are 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. All right, so what do we need to think about in order to estimate the capacity of something? Go ahead and say it out loud. Yeah, I mean, just like yesterday, right? We have to think about the object and the benchmark and think what unit makes sense. And to do that, we have to think, does the object hold at least one of the unit? And is the unit too small to keep track when I visualize? And once you've picked your unit, how do you actually make the estimate? Say it out loud. Yeah, we're measuring capacity, so we'll think about how many of the benchmarks does it take to fill up the object. Awesome.